Why, hello everyone, Sean here, and welcome to the Hawke Talks episode. I actually wanted to do this just because solely I got a new camera. This is the Sony Alpha A6400. I've been using the Lumix GX85 in the past. While it did perform, with decent results in my liking, I guess. I wanted to switch to a new camera just because of the obvious problems I've been running to. Uh, Basically, the biggest one being the autofocusing and such. Whenever the video goes on, it just randomly chases my face, and there's other things that just really led to me wanting to get a newer camera. Yeah, so. I think this may turn out quite drastically different, but we'll see. I'm just gonna use the daylight today as my lighting source, so we'll see how this video turns out. So, anyways, I wanted to actually sit down and not talk about my camera, but to talk about Genshin Impact. Pretty big potentially. It's definitely in the long term for the most part. But we'll see about that. But anyway, I just wanted to discuss this topic, particularly being the leaks that have been coming out over since I think the beginning, man. Like, these leaks have been coming out for a very good amount of time now. Right, you know, right when the beginning happened, which was in September of last year, I think. There've been some stuff, man, that's been coming out before the official announcement, especially with characters. The most recent one with Eula, which I will not show because of reasons, but a new character, yet again, been leaked, shown to the internet. We know what she does, we know what she is, we even know what she looks like and plays in a way, because these data miners are crazy about this game. They've been going at it for a while, and they even were able to get her working in a way, which is crazy. That's something I could never do, I feel like. But maybe if I took some time, but I plan to not take that route anymore, definitely. If not now. Anyway, the leaks have been really happening left and right, but MiHoYo very much recently came out with a tweet regarding to the leaks have been happening. They've acknowledged it at this point. They know what's going on, and I think this may be the end of how we consume information when it comes to Genshin Impact. Things definitely will be different short term, and then the long term. I think it may actually affect how people will receive the game, or what the reception of the game will be in the long term. I think there are several factors as to why sort of people feel this way, or what drove people to start leaking this stuff onto the internet before MiHoYo can even officially announce it. There are just a number of things that cause all this. I think the biggest elephant in the room is just the fact that they've have not really going at it with the actual game content in terms of gameplay, the actual sort of the main relevancy of the main part of the gameplay, which is the action RPG side of things. We've had updates throughout its lifetime, right, as of now. I've been really liking it for what it is. It's a free-to-play action RPG from a Chinese developer, and I think it's really cool for what it is. I do like how they handle the summonings to some extent, at least, in comparison to other gacha games. So if you think Genshin Impact is bad or scummy, well, yes, it could be scummy. I understand that incentive, so that reaction. There are a lot of gacha games that do this exact thing, but in worst possible ways. Let's put it that way. But yeah, so I do like it just because of the pity system. You can plan out your summonings if you're very careful. If you're kind of a little more reckless about it, then that sort of reaction could come out, but that just really depends on the person. But back onto the main point here, though, the content is very scarce. The actual main content, even though we've had these updates over time, we've had very little relevant content being added to the game. I think we've had little bits and pieces here and there, but even so, they go away. And a number of these sort of other updates have, shown up for just that one update, and then they've gone away, after some time. Those are always pretty much permanent or temporary. And they just go away at sometime after, which is a shame because there are some updates I do like, and that I would like to have stayed in these updates. After that, such as the tower defense minigame, of course the character expedition sort of changes that they added temporarily. Like why you know what I mean? Like why take those out? I just don't understand. Or at least have these sort of expeditions more often. You could have like bi-weekly or something like that at least, but these appear to have gone away permanently. But hopefully, I don't know, maybe some feedback, but may come back. But I don't know. It's just it's just not. I mean, of course, not just that. Like I said, the tower defense one. There's like plenty of other updates that have came and went, like literally. So it's just a shame, really, that these updates aren't really permanent. There are a few exceptions with the Hangout event, which, yeah, that's cool, but we need more of these things. Not only that, we actually, would like to see, I think, safe to say, just more stuff when it comes to like the main portion of things, the gameplay of it. Why can't we get more bosses, more stuff to, more treasures, more, more ways to earn resin, more ways to earn fragile resin, just things like that. I mean, that's kind of always what boggles my mind a little bit throughout these updates. Like, why not, like update the treasures and stuff like that, put them in different random locations, maybe do something a little different with them, like do like a little mini puzzle to unlock them and such. And I don't know, man, like it doesn't have to be story related, of course. These don't have to be side quests. You just have to I don't know, change things around a bit, and maybe continue to update some of the bosses that are already existing in there, like the Oceanid boss that they've changed up quite a bit, but I'm pretty sure that's not permanent. That's only around for the event, and then that's it. So like that, those things like that just boggle my mind quite a bit. I personally don't understand why. So that's why these things are factoring into how people are sort of reacting and how they handle these leaks and such. They just do these things because they really thirst for more of the main gameplay side of things. And of course the characters really add to that, but once the character comes out, people already sort of play around with it. That's pretty much it, and now you gotta wait for the next character, of course. And of course these characters can only be earned through the gacha system, so you have a chance to get these characters, but you don't really have the sort of guaranteed opportunity to get that gameplay added in there. That little bit of gameplay being added in there is only a chance to do so. So that's another thing too. So that's why people just leak this stuff. They want people to prepare. They want to have people farm for these things, because it is a very grindy game. And that's another thing they need to change too. Is the sort of that grinding nature of it. They need to tune it out a little bit. Obviously, you don't want to be too easy. Otherwise, people will just stop playing the game. But it definitely needs some fixing. There needs to be more ways to earn resin. There needs to be there still needs to be a faster recharge rate for the resin to come back. Obviously the condensed resin is being updated, which is nice, but there's definitely need more room for improvement when it comes to just the resin side of things. It's still a problem to a pretty strong degree, in my opinion. I think they still need to work on it, and I think they definitely need to work on that too, as well as the other things that people have complained about in the past. There are many reasons why people sort of handle these things up to this point in this matter. So people have no problem leaking this stuff out like it's nothing, just because the game kind of feels barren. Funny enough, even though there are these mini games that have come out in the past, but it's kind of like a carnival mini game sort of meshed together into this game. This is just the sort of stuff that we've seen before. While yes, it does have its own sort of Genshin twist to it, for the most part, we've had tower defense stuff, we've had these gliding games, we've had these, you know what I mean, like, and now in the upcoming update, we're gonna have that Fall Guys sort of mini game. You know what I mean? So it's just stuff that has already been done and sort of just slapped in here as an idea of like, or as their idea of trying to increase the longevity of the game, when they don't actually like update the gameplay side of things. They don't improve, the quality of the game. There's no like quality of life sort of updates as of yet. They've had some, yes, but there definitely is still room for improvement for the gameplay side of things. Now, I'm pretty sure there are more factors into why people sort of handle these leaks and all that such, but I do want to get to the point of what's going to happen after with MiHoYo taking action of these leaks. So, and what they're doing exactly has been pretty prominent now, even. So certain channels that have talked about these leaks in the past have gotten some sort of warning of sorts. Like maybe not a direct warning, like, hey, don't do this anymore. But some channels got kicked out of the main official Discord channel, which is a very, I don't know, it's peculiar, right? So that's a pretty clear sign as to how they feel about these YouTubers. So what does that mean for the future of things? Because the way we've consumed this information has been a key player as how people continue to play the game. We know what to farm, we know what kind of stats they're hungry for. You know what I mean? Like we can prepare ourselves and continue to be excited for these characters, because there's really nothing else to be excited about. So it's really hard to like gauge our excitement for anything else really besides the characters, because they add more of that main side of the gameplay here. So they don't they're not continuing to innovate the main side of the gameplay. They only just sprinkle in some minigame stuff, and that's it. So that's why we really are thirsty for these characters. It's just because they change up the gameplay. You know what I mean? So that's just how it goes. And because of MiHoYo putting the stop on this type of information sort of consumption now, because a lot of these things do come from leaks, what does that mean for these channels? You know what I mean? So that means they don't really have much to talk about other than when these characters have officially come out. But I don't know, by that time it's just, I don't know, everyone's going to talk about it, and the people are only going to want to hear that same sort of like, hey, this character does this character does that sort of thing. These leaks, while I do have my opinion on them in general for other games like fighting games, for example, in this special case here, it does help people continue to sort of consume Genshin Impact information. It continues to sort of add fuel to that engagement fire when it comes to Genshin Impact, which, yeah, of course, it definitely needs, because it's a free-to-play game and other things, right? In today's age, you definitely want more social media interaction and such, and engagement. And if you're going to cut off that side of things when it comes to information, I think that definitely will hurt the game in some way or form. So, I mean, it's really hard to say as to what's going to happen with this, like the, just cutting off leaks and such. I think it's a pretty important line to cut off, though. I mean, in my opinion, though, just because that's how we've been consuming our information throughout its lifetime now. And now that MiHoYo's like, hey, we don't do this anymore, pretty much, yeah, it's kind of, it definitely will change how we'll try to consume information. So yeah, we're going to like hear characters once they officially come out. I don't know, man. It's really hard to say what the solutions can or will be, or what immediate solutions can be done for this sort of situation. Maybe YouTubers just have to talk about something else when it comes to Genshin Impact, like maybe just make some fun content, like some trivial stuff and stuff like that. Like me, for example, like I just did my character ratings for the Mondstadt characters, and I'll try to bring up the leeway characters next as soon as possible. But it's just kind of hard to say. Like, I don't know. Is that what people would like to see from other channels per se? Kind of hard to say. So, but then, I just wanted to give my 2 piece on it somehow in this situation here. I think just to generalize my opinion, I think this situation will hurt Genshin Impact in the long term side of things, just because the way we've consumed information does come from leaks, and that sort of information being consumed does create a form of excitement, which is really important for these type of games. And again, now that it's going to be cut off at this point, what I mean? Like, do we have to do something about it? Like, do we have to just accept it and just wait until official announcements come around? There's going to be a lot less Genshin Impact content just, coming out. It's really hard to say of what the solution is for this type of thing. Should we just like focus on something else, anything like that? I don't know. So while yes, I mean, I do prefer not to be leaked with information, funny enough, in this special case here, it's been helping out Genshin Impact because of how dry it actually is when it comes to the main content. There's no real other story going on. There's not any more bosses or different challenges. It's just these mini games for the most part. There are some sprinkles of it here and there, but even if they do come around, they're not around for forever. They're only there for like some set of time, and that's it. They're gone. I could have been down for doing that some of the mini games if they stuck around. If they let them stick around, like the tower defense stuff. That was actually kind of fun for me. It was pretty satisfying. They could have literally just like changed around their awards, you know what I mean, and then that's it. And of course change around the maps, come out with more maps and challenges, and what I mean. They put that much work for it to just go away forever. It's like, what I mean. So things like that do make me question as well as to how the longevity of Genshin Impact will be. So I always just hate it for it to just go away. That's just that is a pretty sad thing to think about. But these things happen. Mobile games have come and went, and people, sometimes it's hard for them to move on just because they can get attached to these games. Sometimes these games do bring the audience to their channel, and once that game goes away, are they gonna, drift to somewhere else, or are they willing to stick around for the content creator? I think that's definitely a different discussion, but it does kind of spawn all from this situation, which is Genshin Impact, MiHoYo, how they feel about these leaks being just spread around the internet. So let's see how their solution or their sort of call to action sort of things will turn out for the longevity of Genshin Impact. Will it be a minimum, or will it be actually something that'll later be like a big impact in the long run? Definitely when it comes to the short-term sort of impact, YouTubers might have less to talk about. So let's see how that turns out. let's see how this unfolds. So if you guys want to drop any comments or opinions about the situation, leave me down below. Sorry if I'm like sort of all over the place, but you know, Genshin Impact kind of gets me talking, and that's just how I am with these videos. So I'm very off the cuff a lot of times, so I do apologize for that. But anyway, that's the Hawke Talks on the Genshin Impact leaks and how MiHoYo is trying to put a handle on them, and how it will affect the longevity of things, the lifetime, and the player base of the game. So I do like the game. I mean, I've been playing it every day for the dailies and stuff like that, just to you know, have that sort of satisfaction, just to try to let characters grow and such. And I like the art direction and such. So, and of course, I like how they handle the gacha system comparing to other games. That's just how that's where I come from. So, anyways, that's it for the video. Don't forget to like and subscribe and comment and all that stuff. Really helps out and really appreciate it, guys. So, maybe I'll make another video talking about Genshin Impact once the situation becomes apparent. But anyway, until then, I'll see you guys in the next video. Sean out.